So I think it's safe to say we are in a relegation scrap with our Dover team. We are on 22 games played. It is the 1st of January. 19 points on the board. 3 points ahead of Fulham and Forest, who are obviously sat in the relegation zone. As you can probably tell, we are still in charge of Dover. We have not taken the Manchester United job or the Manchester City job. They literally both offered me the job about 2 days after the Nottingham Forest game in the last episode, and I rejected them both. I'm starting to think that was a bad idea, because basically throughout December, we haven't been very good. There were a couple of bright lights in the middle of it, beating Liverpool at home, a 3-2 win. We changed our formation to the 4-4-1-1. The Volante one that we done a few seasons ago, and then we lost against Man United straight away. We then beat Fulham when we returned back to our 4-2-4, and then lost against a very good Arsenal team, a very, very good West Ham team, and a very, very good Leicester team, where we managed to somehow nick a point. There's a new name as well on the screen. Let's take a look. We broke the bank. We broke the bank to bring in Cesar Javier Moreno. Now I'm thinking, hear me out, we don't score goals. This man should score us goals. He didn't want to join. This guy did not want to join. He's cost us £23 million. We are paying him the most money we've ever paid anybody. And so far, he's played one game and was rubbish. He got a 6.4, but we did play against Leicester. I'm hoping in today's episode we can see a little bit more from him. But because it's January the 1st, I think today might be a bit of a transfer window special. We have also brought in another player, Jang Dae-ho, who I think we mentioned last episode, or maybe an episode or two ago, signed from our feeder club, Busan, over in South Korea. Doesn't have a work permit, so he's going out on loan, I think, to Bochum? Yeah, VfL Bochum on him. And also, two bits of loan business to talk about. Stefan Osmic and Jackson Arango both going out on loan. We need to shift some players on because we don't have the wages, because we might have spent them all on Moreno, but we also have some money to spend in this January transfer window. I just don't know how far it's going to go. Let's take a look at the squad depth. I guess this is kind of what we should be looking at to see where we need to strengthen. Central midfield, we are good. Rory Allen, Duncan Elliott, Adam Barton, Adrian Barton even, Robbie Finnegan, and Andrew Bean, I should know this. Yeah, they're all very, very good at 3.5-star current ability players. That is perfect. Strikers, we are very good in that position as well. Wingers, on the left is an issue, isn't it? On the right, doesn't look like it's an issue, but Darko is transfer listed because he is the worst footballer I've ever bought in Football Manager. In defence, it seems okay, doesn't it? It seems okay, maybe a left back. I think realistically, a left winger needs to be our target, and I don't really know where to begin. Now, I am wondering whether we push the boat out and go for somebody slightly older, somebody like Zlezko Garvic, possibly 32 years of age. I think he's probably good enough for us, but also, I've just realised, it's January, he's got 6 months left on his deal. We could shop around for some free transfers and then hopefully bring them in 6 months early if the club's willing to sell him. 34-year-old Christian Pulisic? Probably not that one, actually. So I thought we found our left winger in Nilson Leman Xavier, possibly could be his name, a 26-year-old Brazilian with an £11 million minimum fee release, but he just doesn't want to join us. He's very good. Apparently he's played for Blackburn, Arsenal and Forest. It's a weird career this guy's had. I was also taking a look at Anthony Elanga, who is obviously former Manchester United player in this game playing for Rennes, but they want way too much money. We don't have a huge amount of money. We've got some, but not a huge amount. We've gone forward a few more days, and yes, Omar Richards doesn't play for us, but he almost did. He ended up signing for Brentford. I don't know whether this is a good or bad thing. Basically, I offered him a deal and said, if we stay in the league, we're going to pay Wolfsburg a lot of money. They accepted. Unfortunately, he decided he wants to go to Brentford, which, I mean, we offered him a lot more money than what he's getting paid. And Brentford are literally at the bottom of the table and most likely going to get relegated. We've also not done any other transfer business in terms of bringing in new faces. However, we have managed to get a work permit for Mohamed Bougray. I don't know what his name is. Mohamed has got himself a work permit, which is perfect. He can play on as the left winger. He's also wanted. Who's he wanted by? Bristol City. You're not going out on loan, mate. You're probably playing. Oh, and we also just beat Burnley in the FA Cup third round. Darko has just smashed all records. Scores a hat-trick. Gets a 10 out of 10. He's been appalling. I take him off the transfer list. And all of a sudden, he scores and gets an assist as well. Maybe Darko's suddenly turned up. Anyway, we are now going to go forward to the Fulham game, because Fulham are 17th place in the table. It's probably going to be our only match of this episode, because I imagine I've been waffling on quite a lot, but Fulham obviously are a team who are also fighting for relegation. It's a must-win game. We've also got Newcastle, who are pretty good, and Man City, who aren't actually that great anymore. So we've gone forward a few more days. We have drawn 0-0 with Newcastle, which actually on paper is a good result, considering they've just moved themselves up into 4th place. We still in 16th place, 1 point clear of our next opponents, Fulham, and we've done some transfer business. Oh boy, are you excited? I wouldn't be. We've signed Leonardo Sampaio, who's rubbish. Basically, I signed 3 18-year-old Portuguese players because they were in their under-20s, the Portugal under-20 squad, and I thought, why not? Let's give it a go. He's on £110 a week, and he's probably never going to play for us. And for £35,000, we have signed Mateus Rodriguez. He was out of contract at the end of the season. He's not much better. I mean, he is much better, but he's not really going to be... He's not going to be playing, is he? He's not going to be playing for a few seasons' time. And that's it. That's literally it. We don't have really the pulling power, the financial power, the players available to basically make us any good at the moment. I think we might be getting relegated, which I don't want to go back to the Championship. Now, this starting 11 does not fill me with joy because we have a lot of injuries. We've got the African Cup of Nations going on as well, which means we don't have a sub-goalkeeper. It will be Perisic in goal, Barton, Machuca, Charia and Greg in defence, Elliott and Bean, Darko, Bougray, Moreno and Keith up front. Our 2 strikers have never scored for us this season. We've only got 4 goals in our starting 11 in this match. On the bench, we do have Roberts, Laird and Corbeau, who've scored a bunch of goals, but we are missing Rory Allen, 9 goals, out with an injury. Santalan, 7 goals, out with an injury as well. We're struggling. This is not a game where you want to have lots of injuries. I'm pretty sure because of all of those injuries as well, Keith Wooten might be our captain. He's 18 years old. Can we find out? I feel like Keith might be our captain. It's Adrian Barton. Why did it mention Keith or something? Still, Adrian Barton's an Everton loanee. I am not looking forward to this. Obviously, at Craven Cottage, we have also finished the construction work on our new expanded stadium, so it's now 12,500 capacity. It's not massive, but it's a bit bigger. We have potentially got... Nope, we don't have ourselves a highlight. Instead, Fulham have themselves a highlight. It's Chom Chuen, maybe could be his name. Darko's managed to get the ball, though. Goes for a run. Terrible pass. Robakowski all the way back to Gustavo Sousa in the Fulham goal. I mean, this so far, it's back and forth. Elliott to Bean. Poor first touch. Darko's not going to quite get there. The ball is... What is happening? This is a Premier League football match, by the way, everybody. Wooten dinks it forward as Darko. Bougray's there, and Bougray's effort, probably the first time he's ever kicked a football in the Premier League, goes just wide. This is, by the way, his debut. I didn't play him in the last match or two just because I didn't really... I kind of forgot, okay? Away from home, is a draw a good result? I know there's still plenty of time to play, but is a draw a good result? Realistically, it's not, is it? Realistically, a win could possibly put us back to sort of pushing mid-table, because the league is so very tight at the moment. Bougray to Bean, down that left-hand side is Greg. Can he whip that ball in? Does hit it low, and Keith. It's bloody Keith. Keith Wooten is there at the front post. It is 1-0 to Dover. That goal might... I know it's still somewhat early days, we're only in January, but that goal might be huge. Huge in the grand scheme of things. That goal moves us up to 14th place, 2 points behind 12th place. I mean, it is so tight at the bottom of the table that we're almost in Europe, are we not? We're not really, let's be honest. Half-time it is 1-0. Fulham apparently having the better chances, but we do have that one goal. I'm not happy. I'm actually not happy because Darko, Bougray, Moreno all struggling. Elliott struggling as well. Defensively, we're doing spot on, which is good to see. The team talk worked. We've got also 5 yellow cards, so that's a fine coming our way. Lovely. Machuca to Charia, the West Ham loanee. You wouldn't think he was a West Ham loanee. He's been here for absolute years. Bean's going to get on the end of that from Darko. Is he going to go for goal? He's gone for a dink. He's gone for a dink. There was a chip and bean joke there, wasn't there? There was a chips and beans joke. 10 minutes into the second half, and It's not really the most exciting game of football. Our wingers just haven't worked in the Premier League, have they? Velasco's corner for Fulham is towards the front post. I don't know who that was. I think it was Barton on the line, blocking that ball with his chest, saving the day, and now having a free kick forward towards Bougre. Doesn't manage to get anywhere near him, and now Fulham counter-attack time. Alvarez on towards the right-hand side, it's Alan Kardec. Terrible pass for Elizalde, but he does manage to get it to him. Anyway, Donnelly's controlled it well. Donnelly's placed it in the bottom corner, but Donnelly was also offside. I hope. Yes, he was. Good, good. Not that we have the options. We need to do some subs. Bougre is coming off. Theo Corbino's going to come on. I mean, when you've got a literal world-class footballer on a 6.4, and then Keith on a 7.0, I can't believe I'm doing this sub. Dean Laird is coming on. Look at that. 2-star and 1.5-star strikers in the Premier League. I'm thinking Duncan Elliott needs to come off as well. He's our lowest performer as a central midfielder and has a yellow card. So we're going to do that. Robbie Finnegan is going to be the man coming on. We've done all of our subs, and there's still a lot of time to play, which might have been a mistake. I've just realised they've got Uriah. I mean, he's done nothing so far, hasn't he? Robakowski all the way back to the goalkeeper. Big kick over the halfway line towards Donnelly, but he's not going to get there. Darko's lucky to probably still be on the pitch. Wooten to Dean Laird. Right-hand side is Barton. 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 in the box. It's a poor cross for Theo Corbino. What a terrible... There were so many options. There were more red shirts in the box than there were white, and we still didn't manage to find a red one. Donnelly with the ball. Terrible pass. Darko, terrible control. Finnegan to Bean. Bean, where are you going to go? All the way back to Machuca. Careful, Machuca. There's a guy right behind you. TC's controlled this well on that left-hand side. He's been pushed over. Alan Kardec is going to be the first man to pick up a second yellow card. I thought it was going to be one of ours because most of our players are booked. Free kick for Fulham, though. Velasco to Alvarez. Do we shut up shop? They've got 10 men. Jim Gregg's just gone for an absolute lunge of a tackle there, and he's not even booked. So that could have been a straight red if he connected with the player. Right-hand side is Martson. Lose it. Lose the ball to one of our players, please. Velasco to Shackleton. Jamie Shackleton on the right-hand side. Jim Gregg's with him every single step of the way. Shackleton tries to get the cross in. Velasco plays it in the middle. Machuca can clear it. Bean can clear it further. Not a single red shirt is up there. Bean's got on the end of that one again, though. Wooten's going off for a run towards Dean Laird. Theo Corbino with acres of space. He's not the fastest. He's gone for a chip as well. Why are we going for chips? If we win this game, we have fluked this. Fulham have been the better side. Barton with a free kick. Oh my word, Adrian Barton's just scored a screamer. I don't think Adrian Barton's ever scored a goal for us. He scored from 30 yards. That was postage stamp stuff. It's 2-0. That was just out of the blue, wasn't it? Look at that for a free kick. Captain Barton then, proving that maybe he should be the captain. We have got less than 10 minutes, 2-goal advantage, a player advantage as well. Barton, the man, probably picking up the man of the match award if it ends now. Gregg forward, finds Corbino. There are so many red shirts. We were going for the overload. Dean Laird's there. Dean Laird tucks it wide. He was offside anyway, doesn't matter. And Darko's gone and injured himself. You're just the most useless footballer, aren't you? You're just the most useless footballer. I mean, we've got minutes to play. We're both down to 10 men. See, Fulham decided to change their formation when they went down to 10 men. I just left a big gap on the right-hand side of the pitch. Bean has the ball for us. We've got 25 seconds of injury time to play. I think there might be a goal in this, and I feel like it might be going Fulham's way. Donnelly through to Askildsen. Alvarez through once again. Askildsen's there. It's a good save from Pedicic. It's going to go off for a corner. There's not enough time, guys. You're 2-0 down. Don't worry. Don't bother taking the corner. Velasco's corner comes in. It's a header clear from TC. And Whittle, ref, we're 20 seconds over. Keith is potentially going to be one of the heroes of the day. It's a 2-0 win. That is a huge win. That is an absolutely massive win. I don't really know how we've done that. We weren't very good, were we? Fulham should have scored nearly 2 goals. Down to 10 men. We picked up so many yellow cards. But that's huge. That is a massive 3 points. Darko's out for 3 to 4 weeks. Which, I mean, let's be honest, we're not going to miss him. We're not going to miss him. If we have a look at his form, ignoring that one match there, he has been just plain awful. He's played all over the pitch, on the right, on the left, in the middle. He's played as shadow strikers. I think I've even played him as a striker a couple of times, and he has been absolutely garbage. He was our record signing when we brought him in. He's now second record signing. But I want to sell him. I genuinely want to sell him because he's just not very good. Oh, it gets even better. We've beaten Carl Jenkinson. Carl Jenkinson, just in case you didn't remember, was our assistant manager for 3 years. He then left to go to MK Dons and apparently has gone around the houses, MK Dons, Reading, QPR, Burnley and now Fulham. I mean, he's ridiculous. He's absolutely ridiculous as a manager, and we've just managed to do one over him. So 24 games in, 23 points on the board. We are almost at the ratio of staying in the league. 1 point per game should be enough to keep you in the Premier League. That'll give you 38 points. We are going to go forward now to the end of the January transfer window. Just to give you a quick reminder, we've got 9.4 million to spend because I've done some readjusting. I literally can't readjust it to be enough to cover our wages. Yeah, can we do this? Increase, not next season. I want this season's transfer budget. Is there anything I can do? I mean, I've asked them for a new stadium. They didn't want to do that. We'll ask them if they want to expand it. Maybe that's the thing. So they've accepted the expansion of the training facilities. Fair enough. Also, Jang Dae-ho might get himself a work permit, although he's currently out on loan. That was a waste of 20 grand. Oh, this could be interesting. So we are a few days away from the Man City game, and we have our recruitment meeting. So they recommend a left winger, which I agree with, and a ball-winning midfielder, which I'm not so sure about. I'm genuinely not sure about that. I'm going to say also a left wing back. Oh, the options aren't good, are they? Jaden Anthony is 33. I've already had a look at him. I considered it and then went, no, not really for me. Ryan Kent is 36 and he's getting paid a huge amount of money at Almira. And that was it. That was actually it. The priority should be high, please. And I want current ability to be very good. Not quite sure why they thought we needed a central midfielder, because this is the list of people who are competent at ball-winning midfielder roles. Sure, who have you got? Conor Gallagher. I did think that was a good idea, but £14 million is too much money for us. And Jens Kajust, who is available on a free and a right wing-back. And on a lot of money. Yeah, that's not happening. And I'm going to say, can you find me a 4-star left-back, please? Because they basically don't have anyone at the moment. Anyone else? You've probably got loads of these, haven't you? Now, this one is my sort of player, but we don't really need a 19-year-old Slovenian striker who's not going to get in the first team, particularly if he's going to cost maybe £2 million. It's going to cost $950,000. We might be signing a 19-year-old Slovenian striker who's not going to get in the first team. Well, that recruitment meeting wasn't particularly fruitful, was it? We're now going to go forward to deadline day. There will be money to spend. Deadline day might be interesting. Not promising anything, but it might be. Right, it is transfer deadline day, but before everything turns yellow and everybody wears yellow ties and stuff like that, we lost against Man City. We got 7 yellow cards. Charrier getting himself sent off as well. We were just awful. We have sold Nikita Kobzev for £1.5 million. We just weren't playing him, and I don't think he's ever going to get much better than what he currently is. So Kobzev is out the door. And Tadej Bergant is in, however he doesn't have a work permit, so he's going to be going out on loan hopefully today, and it's RB Salzburg, the team that are hopefully going to take him in because they want to play him first team. So Bergant could be playing half a season for RB Salzburg, which could be good news. And you know what else is good news? Our stadium is currently being planned to be expanded to 14,000, which isn't a massive increase, but we are selling out our new stadium at the moment. We've only played there twice, but we're selling out 12,500 for the 2 matches that we played there. So we need a bigger stadium, which is really good. We were getting nearly 15 playing in Brighton. So you'd think in our own backyard we'd get hopefully over 15,000. So that's kind of what we need to be aiming for. But let's jump into deadline day. Just a reminder, still no money. Now, the first thing I do on deadline day is I just do this, attracting interest. Who have we got in our team that is attracting interest from elsewhere? Lewis Rogers. He's got 5 months on his contract. We need to give you a new deal. This is what everybody wants on deadline day, right? Is contracts being signed. Bunch of people's contracts expiring as well. Rogers, obviously, we're just offering him a deal. Taki Inagi, I want to keep him, but he's never going to get a work permit. Everyone else, I'm not really too fussed about. Transfer listed people, Mark McGuinness, I want to shift on because he's just 32 now. He doesn't really play for us. He's played once so far of the season. Off the bench, I don't really think he's sticking around. El Idrissi, who, by the way, completely ignored this. He is Africa's best goalkeeper. He won an award for Africa's best goalkeeper and he doesn't play for us. Nguyen Van Hijn, I arguably want to sell him if we can, because he's worth a lot of money, but I don't think it's going to happen. Keith, I'm not sure if I want to loan him out. He's starting to break into the first team. Anyway, let's do some deadline day business. Not sure what I'm going to do, but let's try and do something, shall we? If I needed a goalkeeper, Pintia might have been the man we'd go for, because that's a bargain of a price. And yeah, he's very good, isn't he? Don't need a goalkeeper though. Or do... No, we don't. We definitely don't. Also, we've got about 15 of them. First player I think I might go for, Esteban Ruiz de Galarreta. Now, I don't know how much he's going to cost. I imagine probably more than what we can afford, but let's try and do some business. They've immediately said £30 million. Yeah, that's 3 times what we can afford. Okay, next one. We've just had a bid accepted for Connor Cameron for about £450,000, which is peanuts. Problem is he's out on loan at Sheffield Wednesday, so even if we do sign him, it won't be till the end of the season, and I imagine he's out of contract, isn't he? Yeah, we could probably just wait until the end of the season and pick him up on a free. I'm really good at this transfer business stuff. Right, anyone else? Anything else that we can possibly look at? Matthias Larsson is interesting me, and I'm not quite sure why. I feel like it's just because he's really fast. But maybe that's what we need. It's going to cost our entire budget. It's not what we need. I've just spent a very, very long time going through this list of people who might be interested to come on loan, and we've got one player who might be good enough for us, and I'm still not sure whether he will be. The transfer window, it's not a good transfer window. There's not a lot of options available, particularly with our lack of transfer budget. Right, the day is ticking on, and genuinely, I don't think we are doing anything more than what I've currently got arranged. So, Connor Cameron hopefully will be joining. I don't know whether it means his loan at Sheffield Wednesday will be cancelled. I'm hoping that's what it means. We're also hopefully bringing in Arnar Brynjarsson. We'll take a look at him in just a moment once the transfer goes through. And also Krzysztof Ledniowski, both of which I think are coming from... Oh no, both of them on loan. One from Porto, one from Inter Milan. Both of them not really good enough to play first team, but good enough to be in and around the squad, which is something I think we realistically need at the moment. We are looking pretty thin when it comes to squad numbers. Still plenty of time left in the day, 11 hours to go, and our first man is through the door. It is Krzysztof Ledniowski, that might be his name. Signed from Inter Milan, right winger, gives us more options on that right wing. Basically, somebody who might be able to push Darko to his limit. Because right now, Darko doesn't really do football, does he? Ledniowski might be better than him. We've also got some transfer news for Mark McGuinness. Now, a lot of people are offering various amounts of money, which, I mean, some of these are definitely not happening. Anything near sort of the 3 million mark, I think is where we're going to go for. So 3.3 for that one. We will definitely take that, I guess. You know what we could just do? Everyone needs to match Angers and their transfer bid. If you don't, then he ain't going there. And hopefully, he goes off to France. Arnar Brynjarsson is now in the club as well. Left winger. This is something that we were looking for. Yes, he's not the best. Yes, he's also joining on a permanent deal at the end of his loan. He's costing some money. He's costing £28,500. Once the fee, or once the loan's done, it's nearly £1 million in total. It's not actually bad. I don't think it's particularly bad. He's an alright player. Gives us another option on the left-hand side. A very aggressive option, but an option nonetheless. And Connor Cameron, which is going to go through today, I think. Is that going to go through today? I don't know. Yes, it did. Connor Cameron has also joined the club. He's worth £10 million, apparently. Played 29 times for Sheffield Wednesday so far this season, down in the Championship, making that step up 450k. I think that's some good business, right? Maybe. I'm saying that's good business. And Bergant is also leaving the club and going to RB Salzburg, which is what we expected. Hopefully, regular starter. We'll see him getting a lot of games and a lot of goals. With 4 hours to go, there has been more transfer business taking place on the South Coast. Nadir Moumen El Edrisi has left the club on a loan deal to sign for Middlesbrough, which left us with only one goalkeeper, which means we kind of rushed and loaned in another goalkeeper. It's Robbie McCrory, who is 34 years of age, on loan from PSG for some reason. He's had a strange career, playing for Atletico Pamplona, who I'm not quite sure... Is that Osasuna? I believe, something like that. He's in until the end of the season. He's probably never going to play for us, but he's there just in case Pedicic gets himself injured. I think this is our business done. I think, although obviously Mark McGuinness, we're still waiting to see whether he's going to leave. I expect he probably will. And I think if that's the case, we probably need to look at somebody who's out on loan and maybe recall them, because we might be very short on centre-backs for backup options. We don't have a lot of players that we can recall from loan deals, particularly in the defensive department. Nice. We've got Paraga. I think that's the one we're going to do, even though he's not very good, but he's not going to play for us. He's just going to be sat on the bench for the most part. There's 30 minutes left, and Mark McGuinness hasn't left. I mean, Ulsan apparently have made a £2.8 million bid, which I haven't seen. Can you hurry up? Because I kind of need you to leave. I want you to leave as well, because you're potentially ruining the dynamic slightly. Because he is a team leader, and he's upset, it's kind of trickling down to pretty much everybody else. Although, he's in a social group by himself. You're a team leader, fella. So the window's closed, but he is still in the club. Which, I guess, because he might be going to France, their transfer window might be open a little bit longer. We are going to go forward and hopefully see the end of that deal, because I don't think we're playing for a while. 5 more days, apparently. Well, Ulsan apparently don't want Mark McGuinness. This is a weird thing that's happening, right? We're now just seeing whether our captain's going to leave the club. Why should he be captain? He's literally on loan, guys. Mark McGuinness, can you just hurry up and leave? You're still... Right, the bid is still in from Angers. And it's all agreed. Right, there we go. Mark McGuinness has left the club. I want to see what this is going to do for our dynamics, because this is a problem. This is a problem. Someone else can step up, Rory. Good, you don't care. Right, so let's take a look at the dynamics. We've got a gap. We don't have a gap. Dean Laird's jumped in it. Straight away. Not a problem. Nobody cares. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. And then hopefully, club atmosphere is good. Team cohesion's good. Managerial support is excellent. Everything's looking pretty good. Probably should have sold Paul Searle, shouldn't we? Well, that is going to do it for this episode. Next episode, I guess we're going back to football, aren't we? Realistically, January's been not too bad for us. We're going to go back to football, and it's probably going to be somewhere... I mean, Villa and Forest. We have to do Forest, don't we? It's got to be that Forest game. That is a huge match for us. Realistically, we're losing most of the things in February. We'll play Forest. Forest and Brentford. Forest and Brentford. And we've got Brighton and Burnley to finish off the season as well. So thank you very much for watching this rather broken episode, I guess. Transfer window special and all that jazz. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Tell me what I've done wrong through my transfers, because I've definitely done wrong things. And I will see you in the next one, where we kind of need to win both of them to stay in the league. Thanks for watching.